Just look at how powerful this is combined with Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This literally took seconds for it to make for me. Cursor is the best way to code with the AI and be extraordinarily productive. The question is, are we going to switch from learning how to code to learning how to use AI to code for us? Let's go ahead and see how this VS Code fork works. Well, to go ahead and get started with Cursor, we just go to cursor.com, click the download for free button here, and whenever you do and you start running it, you'll just have to sign up and we can get started. Well, let's go ahead and take an example code that I have no idea what's going on, and there is no better option for that than looking at some C code. I can just ask AI what's going on here. And how we do that is I can go ahead and just click somewhere inside this file, and there's a couple ways to do this, but the first command that you need to know is it's either control or command depending on your machine. So I'm on a Mac, so it's going to be command I. And what this does is you can see it brings up this little like floating panel here. And it says I can go ahead and type something in here. Well, what I want to do is I want to ask AI what this file is doing. And I know I'm in the correct file because right here it says explaining_code.c. So it's looking at the file, and I just go ahead and ask any question I want to. So let's go ahead and say, can you explain what's going on here? And look at this. It's telling me everything that's going on here. That was so easy, right? That was your first thing. We hit one command, had AI give us an explanation of it, and that's it. That's just one thing we can do. And we can also follow up with questions on this. So this is, I'm not going to go through what the C code is actually doing, but I can go ahead and still here in this same chat window, this is actually called a composer window. What we can do here is I can follow up and say, hey, can you put this inside the code and document it very well? Then hit enter, and what it's doing is it's going to go ahead and do this. So it says explaining code, it's generating the response, and it's going to go ahead and go through the code you're going to see in just a second, and it's going to add all of the comments or any type of documentation that I need inside of this code for me without me having to insert it myself manually. And what's happening here, there are a couple things going on here. You see a bunch of green, you see some red, and so forth. Okay, so what is that? All right, so if we go back to the top here, the green is all of the code that the AI has generated for us, and the red is what was there, right? So this is kind of like Git versioning. There are a couple of things we can do here. So the green over here on the right-hand side, there's like a little green box, and then there's a command for the red box. So if I hit the green box, that means I want to keep the new code, get rid of the old. Or if I hit the red, I keep the old, get rid of the new. So if we just click green, there, now we have this section of code with the comments, right? And you could go ahead and do this for each of these. You could see which ones you want or don't want, or in the same box right here in the panel in the middle, there's a save all, reapply all, reject all, and accept all. If I just choose accept all, it's going to go ahead and choose all of the green code and get rid of all the red. That simple, that easy. Okay, for the next powerful thing we can do is you can just highlight code. I'm going to give you another command, and then it can just also fill in for you right inside the file. Let's take a look at another example. This is a very simple React project, right? All I have to do is highlight the app function. You can see it comes up two things here. There's a chat and an edit command. The chat actually doesn't have a command yet, but if I choose chat, there's a panel on the right-hand side that opens up, and then I can actually start just talking to it right here on the side of my VS Code. Or let me go ahead and close this. After I highlight this, I can also hit Command K. This is on a Mac, for example. And now what this is going to do is going to say, hey, I want to edit something on this highlighted section of code. Now, all I want to say is, can you convert this into a tic-tac-toe game? Okay, it's thinking, and this is what it's doing, is generating the code for me right here. Look how, that literally just took a few seconds, right? And the red, again, this is what I want to get rid of, and the green is what I want to insert. Now, what we can do, if you just want to know, you just want to insert all green, like everything that it's offering to us, you just hit Command Return or Enter, and boom, it's done. Now we have a tic-tac-toe game, and we got rid of the old code. Okay, what I've done is just given you two simple examples, just two commands of what you can do with your code, and the AI can help you in just seconds. So let's go ahead and look at some more powerful examples and some things that issues you may run into that I'm going to help you with. Is here I have an example Rust file. .rs is the extension for Rust. Now I'm not a Rust programmer, so I don't really know what's going on, but that's okay. What I can see from this is defining functions that generate some number of random numbers. But let's say I want to create another function. I'm going to just have a simple one. Let's say I want to just generate a single random number. So let me go ahead and start here. I'm going to say def generate single. And as you can see, as I'm typing, it's going to try and finish it for me. So it knows based on the code within this file that it's probably I'll probably want to say generate single random number. I do, so I'm going to hit tab. And then it went ahead and filled in the rest of the code for me to generate a single random number. All I have to do is press tab one more time, and there's the code. So this is called the autocomplete feature, right? If you just start coding, it's going to try to like forward think for you what you might want it to do, and has it grayed out text, and all you do is press tab and it fills that out for you. It's easy and really quick to use, and it's again powerful. Okay, now what you need to learn how to do is how to have this create files for you, create multiple files for you, right? Not just a single file. We've been editing just single files, but now we need to know how to create multiple files from scratch. How we do that, you just hit Command I, which again is to bring up the compose window. That's what this one is called. The Command K is the editing window, they say. Well, it's still looking at the language translation Rust file. So just click the X here so it's not looking at that. And now we can have it create multiple files for us. What you now need to understand is what model we're actually using, right? We haven't really gone over that yet, but in this drop down here, you can have it choose 4.0, 3.5, or I would just stick to 3.5 Sonnet. So far for me, this has been the best coding model. So I'm gonna keep it here. Now all I wanna do is say, can you create files necessary to create a bar chart I can view on a web page coming from a .csv file with made up data? So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so you can see, and it's going to go ahead and explain what it's doing for me. So it's starting to already, when it says applying, it's basically generating and getting ready to, you'll see these in a minute on the pane over here, right? It's going to go ahead and get those ready. So it's going to create the index, the script.js, and the data.csv. Now, all I have to do is you can click these, and you can see what it's going to add, right? I think I actually already had these files there, so it's going to rename them and all of that. So I'm going to go and just accept this one, go back to the composer, and I can go ahead and go to script.js. Here's what it's doing, and then go back here and go to data.csv, and this is just the data that it came up with. So I'm going to accept this. Right now I have everything that I asked for. It gave me a simple kind of starter thing to come with. Well, now let's go ahead and run this. But like I said, this was a fork of VS Code, so it looks and acts just like VS Code. Now we need to know where the plugins are. Well, these 4 little squares here, just click this. There is the market to look for extensions. Now I already have the Open Browser Preview installed, so I'm going to go ahead and try to look at the index.html. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and preview in default browser. Now I ran it, but it's white. What happened? It's a white screen. So if I go to inspect and the console, there's a CORS policy. We need to go back and ask it to fix that for us. As you can see, you just hit Command I again to bring back up the composer view that we had. And here I just want to say, I'm getting a CORS error. How can I fix this? And what it's done here is it's given me a couple examples, give me 3 examples of what I can do. What I think I'm going to do is use this example that it gave me, which has a live server extension I can download. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I downloaded that. Now I'm going to open with live server. And there we go. Now it works, right? And this is really nice, right? I know this is covering the whole page, doesn't maybe look nice, but it gave me the example data and it created a bar chart for me. And that was so quick, right? That's what the power of this is it's mostly accurate and it's quick for you. It can save you so much time in your development. Now I'm just doing a quick follow-up to ask it to do more for me, to basically make it look nice and maybe more like a data scientist. So as you can see here, it's already developing the code in the background. Let's see how it looks. Just look at how powerful this is combined with Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This literally took seconds for it to make for me. Now for just one more example, I'm gonna have it create a simple Spring Boot project, but make it a little bit more in depth. And here is the project structure that is giving me or telling me that it's going to use. So if I scroll down, these are all of the files that it's going to create, and it's going to tell me how to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and accept all. It says make sure you have Java 11 and Maven installed. I do. And then if you don't, you can just simply ask it, how do I install Maven? So I ran the Maven command it gave me. I did run into one error. I simply asked it to fix it. It did, and now I have an application started. So let's go to the local host and see how it looks. All right, it apparently created a button to view CSV data. So let's view it. And here it is, right? This was a very simple example, but I can have it modify this even and give me more mappings or whatever else I need. It is so quick and easy. You be the judge, but you may not need to really learn how to code. You may need to learn how to use AI to code for you. And if you like this video, here I have AI courses for free that you can learn.